Are you going to start?
Welcome back, guys.
You got lipstick in your teeth.
Welcome back to Candid Chats with C and C and C, because we have a cat.
Yeah. Last episode, we mentioned that we were filming today at Colleen's house. Do you want me?
I don't know what she wants.
Oh, hello. I don't think she does.
This is my cat, Meow.
Hello.
She was gifted to me by Katarina when I was 18.
Yes. Real cute. Real cute. Like, okay, you can go play.
Goodbye.
All right.
All right. Anyways, welcome back to Candid Chats with C and C. I'm Colleen.
I'm Chris.
And
you just introduced us already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
That was for fun.
Oh, okay.
Today's episode, we're going to be talking about moving from a small rural hometown community to a big city. And then we're also going to touch base a little bit on county fairs. Since fair season is right around the corner. Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about this stuff. We kind of touched on a little bit of it in past episodes, but I'm excited to kind of like dive in and like, especially for us, like, I mean, we talked about like kind of things that we've shown and stuff, but kind of get into like the nitty gritty and stuff, and kind of like what you just said. County fairs are literally they start like next week.
Yeah, depending where you're at.
Right. The first county fair in Ohio, I think, starts next week. So ours, where we went, was Madison County, Ohio, and it was always the week after the 4th of July. Yes. We always move in was the Saturday after the 4th of July, which was weird because something that I think not a lot of people realize if they're not like in a rural community or attached to a rural community is a lot of people view fair as their vacation. Yeah. For the year.
Especially the people that like bring campers to stay. Yeah, that's like, that was a lot of families' vacations, that's not a vacation. It's too stressful to be a vacation.
Oh, it's way too stressful for me.
To me, a vacation, my toes are in the sand and I'm at the beach and no life struggles or stressors.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I mean, that is something that I know that talking to some of my coworkers that like grew up in a very urbanized area is like, we talk about county fairs and they're like, oh, the street fair. And I was like, no. And then like kind of explained. And then also, I don't think some people realize that people actually bring like RVs and campers to the fair and like they camp out and they're there for the week.
I think the last, like, since we've stopped showing, sorry, I have a piece of cat fur on my face and it is driving me insane. Okay, I think I got it. I think over the past 5 years, it's been like less and less campers every year.
Ignore the background if you're watching on YouTube because Colleen's cat likes to stare outside at evening.
She just full on moved the curtain. When I saw the curtain move behind me. Oh my god, she's such an asshole.
That's why her name is Meow, because she also doesn't shut up. So if you hear a cat,
I apologize.
Nothing's happening. She's fine.
Yeah.
She just like
she's well fed, I promise.
She's a big girl.
Yes. Let's dive into moving from a small hometown to a larger city.
Yeah. I think that you experienced this when you went to Kent too. I mean, when I first, like we've talked before, went to Wilmington College, small private college in Southern Ohio. I was very attached to the rural community. I mean, there were only like 1,400 people in the whole like college.
Even though Kent was a D1 school, like
it was small.
The town of Kent, Ohio reminded me a lot of Madison County. Like there's one grocery store, one movie theater, a little shopping mall.
Yeah.
Like
we don't even have a shopping mall here though.
No, the closest one is like the outlets at Jeffersonville. But it reminded me a lot of the like stuff to do here. Yeah.
But so Wilmington's like very attached to the like agricultural community. They have a decent sized county fair and it's like Clinton County, Ohio. But really it was like when I went to Columbus, I studied agricultural communications. So like I was still intact with like the ag like industry in Ohio and stuff like that. I was very involved in like ag organizations and stuff. But it was different because I was living in like an apartment complex and with people who had never seen a cow before and stuff like that, which was interesting. And like, I mean, I experienced that at Wilmington too. There was a lot of people who came from Miami, Florida to play football at Wilmington. So like it was very interesting. It was a very interesting dynamic because it was you were either studying sports medicine at Wilmington or you were studying agriculture.
Yeah.
So like that is very
No in
different.
between.
Yeah. And so it was interesting. But I think my biggest wow moment was really like working at a market in Columbus and talking to all those people and just like kind of talking about ag, where their food comes from, and especially like with the farmers market that they had. But I think but another big wow moment was like when I moved to DC and like some of my coworkers, like I mean I work for an agricultural based organization, but like they were like, I've never seen a cow in person before.
That's so weird.
I've never been to a county fair.
That's so weird.
And so we're like a couple of my friends and I who are like from rural America are like,
what?
Like
well, I remember when I went to Kent State, I mean, a lot of people that go to Kent are from like Chicago or a bigger state, New York, Cleveland. And I had to miss my journalism class because I was getting my American degree in FFA and I was going to like the convention. And I like, had to ask my professor if I like could get excused to like skip class because I mean, you're like gen ed, you don't really have to do that. But since it was my journalism class and there was like only 15 of us, I wanted to get her permission. But she was from India. So she was like, wait, what's FFA? Like, well, what is that? Can you like explain it to me? Like, what are you missing class for? And I told her, and she was like, would you mind explaining that like in class when you come back? Yeah. And I was like, sure, this has nothing to do with journalism, but sure. So I came back and I explained why like I was gone and the degree that I got and everything. And I kid you not, there was probably 14 or 15 of us. Like over half, probably 3/4 of the class was like, one of the guys raised his hand and he was like, wait, like they don't like butcher the animals like behind Kroger. Like the farms aren't like behind Kroger. Like Kroger doesn't raise the animals. Yeah. And I was like, no. I said, have you ever driven around the back of the Kroger? Yeah. You can drive back there.
Yeah. Which if you're from like somewhere not Ohio and you don't have Kroger, it's a grocery store.
Oh yeah, that's true. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. We don't have Kroger in DC.
Yeah.
We have Harris Teeter, who's owned by Kroger. I can still get those fuel points though.
Yeah. Well, and like, Lexington, Kentucky, Kroger Field, we're sponsored by Kroger. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, what? Yeah. Like, yeah, they like, and then like when I started explaining that, like I showed animals and stuff and like that, like I don't buy meat from a grocery store. Yeah. Like we get like our cows and pigs butchered.
Homegrown, like, baby.
Like, yeah,
homegrown.
Like we know what goes into their bodies and everything. They were shocked. And I remember coming home and being like, oh my God, people are stupid. Like,
see, and like the thing is like people aren't stupid. It's just like
this is our lives.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's
this is what crazy. This was normal for us. But like, I mean, yeah, if you live in Chicago or a big city and like you don't have like a reason to travel outside of that city, then yeah, why would you know that? Yeah. Like, you think you go to the grocery store, that's where I buy my meat. That's like, some people don't think farther into it than that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It just really did open my eyes up to a lot because I think a lot of the times like us that are like involved in the ag industry, you're kind of like, we talk about a lot of how we talk about educating people and like wanting to like talk to them about things, but like you got to get them interested in wanting to know first. And I think that like, especially now with things that are going on with like GMOs and organic farming and stuff like that, I think a lot of people are getting more interested in being like, so where is my food coming from? And especially with the pandemic, because it's like, we've had so many shortages on things that they're like, why isn't this just like keep coming? Why?
Well, and on top of that, the only reason that they're interested is because to buy organic or to buy non-GMO, they're going to have to take more money out of their pocket. That's the only reason why they're interested.
Yeah, but that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. I think that also a big realization factor for me this weekend, like, I don't know, every time that I've come back to Ohio, like since moving to DC, I've always found myself kind of like, oh yeah, like I'm back, like, whatever.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Other than the fact that we have a new gas station in London.
Well, yeah, and they're redoing the Wendy's.
Yeah.
Like,
And like when things do change, you're like, oh,
everyone's
like
like,
what?
what? Yeah.
Weird. Yeah.
But this past time, I was talking about this with you earlier and your dad. Like, I went to go visit a friend, Bailey, who came and stayed with me a couple months ago, and because he forgot some things, and so I went and like took it back to him, and he
Mhm.
lives in like Hilliard, but like the outskirts.
Yeah.
So I just take like the back roads to get there. And so I was like on my way back home, and I had like country music playing and like the windows down, and I got emotional because I was like, this is home.
Yeah.
Like, this is sad.
And like I
Like,
can't do this in DC.
I can't do this in DC.
Yeah.
Like there's construction everywhere.
Yeah.
Like there's no open roads. I gotta go like 30 minutes outside to like,
If not farther.
yeah, to
Yeah.
like just like have peace and quiet and like look at the stars and like that kind of stuff. It's just kind of crazy.
Mhm.
And
Well, for me, the biggest thing that like I really missed, I mean, I live like right beside UK's campus. So like, I mean, I'm not in downtown Lexington, but like I live right next to the hospital. I hear life flight all the time. I hear sirens all the time. But what I missed the most was having a sunset literally right out my front door.
Mhm.
Like I can see a little bit of it in Kentucky, but like Lexington's so flat and all the buildings are in the way. So like really the only way that I can see it is if I'm like driving around.
Yeah.
But that was like one thing that I missed a lot was like, I want to see the sunset.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just the noise, like
There's a
after
lot of noise.
it takes me about 2 months of being there constant where I'm like, I gotta go home. Like I just need to be in the quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that like something too, I mean, like it's worse like in New York or something like that, but like in DC, like I go like I would say I would hear sirens going up and down the streets like 5 times a day. It's been like in the middle of the night and stuff. It
Yeah.
took me like
They've woken us up in your apartment before.
Well, it hasn't woken me up, but like I mean it did at the beginning, but I like adjusted kind of.
That's funny. So my house I lived in last year was right beside the train track.
Oh yeah.
Like right beside the train track. Like our house would rattle when the train went by.
Yeah.
And
it was loud.
whenever I was on the phone with people or like with you, you'd be like, oh, the train's going by.
Yeah.
But that was something that took me like 3 to 4 months to get used to because it would always come through between like 3 and 5 in the morning.
And they
when I was
blow their
asleep.
horn.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
For like the first 3 months I lived there, I thought it was my alarm clock going off. And I would wake
How
up
funny is that?
hitting my snooze on my phone and like hitting
Was that when you had the like map on your phone to wake up?
Yeah, I think so. But I would like, try to press the buttons and I would be like, why isn't it stopping? Then I would get mad. Then I would get conscious enough to realize, oh my God, it's the freaking train again. And then I would get ticked because it woke me up again. But it took me, like a solid 3 to 4 months to get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just different. But like it's made me appreciate home more.
Yeah. Well, and it was really funny, like back to like FFA and 4-H and stuff. Like Joanna, my roommate, was she went to like go get her American degree the year after I did. And
I didn't realize she was an FFA.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it was funny because she like said that she was flying out, whatever. And I was like, oh, what are you going for? And she was like, oh, you probably don't know what it is, but I'm an FFA and I'm getting my American degree. And I just kind of chuckled a little bit and I went, haha, that's funny. I have my American degree and I'm in FFA.
Yeah.
And she was like, really? You know what that is? I was like, my dad's a farmer. Yeah, I know what that is. Like, I went to a school surrounded by cornfields. Yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah.
But it was, and she's from New Jersey, but it was so funny because she was so wholesome. Like, oh, you probably don't know what it is. And I was like, yeah, okay. But what's something that was really eye-opening to me was when my roommates were here this past weekend, I took them out to the farm and everything. And they're from, New Jersey, Myrtle Beach, like I mentioned in the last episode. And like, they were like kids in a candy shop, like
the
showing them.
Of Hannah. Can you put them on this, please?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
My
funny.
roommate Hannah was living for it.
So funny.
But
put on a camo hat and sat in the freaking tractor.
But it was funny because like, I mean, they were like, wow, like, like they don't look like equipment, like combines and planters and stuff don't look this big when they're going down the road or you see them in the field. Like they were in disbelief that like they're huge.
Yeah,
like
they're huge.
Yeah, it was funny. But yeah, I'm like I've given like the tour of the farm so many times now that I'm just like, yep,
this is it.
Grew up doing this. But it is funny. Yeah, if you've never seen one before or never got up and sat in one, then like, yeah, how would you know?
Speaking of that, we should have talked about this in the last episode, like with the updates. But you should tell our listeners about your about them like climbing up the grain bin.
in my dilemma?
Yeah.
You want to tell my dilemma?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's funny.
So, yeah, a little side story. I get head migraines, but I also get stomach migraines. And a lot of people don't know what this is. Only like 4% of Americans get stomach migraines. So pretty much what happens is when you get a head migraine, all the blood rushes through your brain, it constricts, that's where the head pain comes from. Well, the same thing happens to my intestines. And a lot of times when that happens, I usually have to take a big fat poo and then I'm good to go. But sometimes I have worse ones. Like it can be triggered by food, stress, whatever. And I woke up Saturday morning, the day of my graduation party, and also the day that I went to go and show them the farm. I woke up and I shit like 3 times. And I was like, what is going on? I was like, oh my God, I'm having a stomach migraine. And it's like the worst one I've had in years because I know what my food triggers are. And I try to keep it under control. And I think the heat just like didn't help. It made me feel worse. And it just made me feel even more bloated. So yeah, I pooped 4 times that morning and I was like, oh my God, I have to take them out to the farm. Like,
yeah,
I'm going to have to poop while I'm out there. So I get them.
Did you?
No. So I get them out. I get them out there and we have like a whole grain bin set up and there's a giant tower in the middle and the tower is like 250 feet high and there's stairs that wrap around it so you can climb up to the top. And it's really cool because you can see the courthouse in London from the top, which is really what I wanted them to see.
You should insert your senior picture on this.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I got my senior pictures taken on one of the legs of the grain bins in my prom dress. But they were like, I was like, if you guys aren't afraid of heights, or I was like, is anyone afraid of heights here? And they were like, no, like, can we go to the top? Can we go to the top? And I was like, yeah, but I'm only going to go up like halfway. And they were like, why? I was like, because if I go all the way up there in this heat, I'm going to have to shit at the top.
I was like, I can imagine you just like having to take it down.
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
Was like, so I felt like a cow. Yeah. So then, we did that literally as soon as I got back to the house, went to the toilet.
Yeah.
But then I was good to go. Then I was fine after that. I went to my party was fine. I was fine after that. But
that's good.
Yeah, I think the heat just I was already bloated and then it was so hot that day.
It's like the worst feeling too.
Yeah, because I felt like
huge.
You almost feel claustrophobic in a way.
Yeah, but you just like feel so big.
Yeah, and then I was hot and I was like, I want to die. Yeah, it was awful. So yeah, it was funny. I'll have to insert some pictures.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah. Not a fun time.
No,
not a fun. Sure and I was like, this is the worst day possible. Like I have so much to do this day. Like I like want to entertain. I want to be like fun, bubbly. I have so many people to talk to. Like I have to socialize. And I was like, oh, I just want to be in a fetal position.
Yeah. Well, you made it.
I did. I survived.
And you're good.
I survived. Yes.
How is the poos now?
Still a little runny, but that's TMI.
So disgusting. Oh my God, that's so disgusting. Oh.
Okay, I'm sure the listeners are tired of hearing about my bowel movements.
Yeah,
moving on.
Yeah, let's move on. So let's move on to our next topic.
Yes, county fairs.
Let's talk about the county fair.
County fairs.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
What was your favorite, like, what are they called?
Food stands?
Well, I'm thinking the grandstand event. What was your favorite grandstand?
What was my favorite grandstand event?
There's a lot.
Our county fair does do a good job of having a lot.
They had a Kiss like reenactment band the other couple years ago. That was kind of weird. I heard they were good.
Yeah. I think mine were the truck pulls and like the truck not pulls. The like old fashioned tractor pulls, but like the high speed ones.
Yeah.
What are they? I forget what they're called.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what they're called.
Where they're like really loud. And they have like the
wear,
cages and they wear helmets.
Yeah, and you gotta wear your like.
Yeah, those are my favorite. And I feel like the most people always showed up to the infield for those ones.
Oh yeah.
I like the drag
Everybody was having a good time.
I like the drag races too, though. We usually start.
We start the fair.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to start the fair because then the community can get involved and like you can like drag race your trucks and stuff.
Yeah. I think I only went to the. What are they called? Drag races?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I only went to those once.
I wasn't a huge fan of the rodeo.
I love the rodeo. I think that at the county fair one, not great, but I always liked it. My favorite has always been the derby.
That one's good too. We always end the week with that one. Yeah, that's a good one too.
So fun. Cars just like smash into each other's and like stuff. So we'll get into why I was there later, but there's a county fair up in Northern Ohio, Lorain County, I think. They do combine derbies.
That's cool.
Oh, it was awesome.
That's so cool.
Like just combine just ramming into each other. It was awesome.
That's
They were
crazy.
tipping over.
Oh, I'm
It was
sure.
freaking great.
I'm sure it's like probably pretty dangerous.
Oh, it was very dangerous, but so fun to watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, they can't go like super fast.
They can't go super fast. I'm sorry. I'm laughing about your reaction. You literally went, wow. Wow.
Gotta give the viewers what they
I
want.
know. Funny, but yeah, it was crazy. It's one of the
Interesting.
wildest things I've ever
I've
experienced.
never heard of that.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they're like are they like fairly new? Like are
No,
they ones that they used like before?
Oh, they're
because you know how like
they're used.
you know for like when they do it with the
They're
cars, like
used.
they reuse them
Oh,
usually
yeah,
and fix
yeah.
what they need to.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Huh.
yeah, I mean they're like
That's
older
interesting.
combines and stuff like that. You got like there were some like shorter ones and some
Yeah.
bigger ones and stuff, but yeah, it was nuts. It was great.
The more you know. I can only imagine. I'm gonna have to look that up on YouTube later.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, look it up on YouTube. It's fun.
Interesting.
Oh.
So let's talk about what did you show at the fair?
Oh, what didn't I show?
That's fair.
No
pun intended.
Yeah, literally. I just got that. I just got that. That's funny. That's good. Good for you. You're not that funny sometimes. We like to say that our friendship is do you say 60-40?
I say 70-30. You say 60-40.
No, I say 70-30 because that's worse for you.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I do say 70.
I was like, whoa.
I do say 60-40.
She says 60-40. I
Sorry.
say 70-30. On like,
I've been doing
who's
better.
funnier?
I
have
had
been
you
doing
on the
better. I'm
floor
not gonna lie.
rolling in DC, so I don't want to hear it.
That's true. That's true. Anyway, so back to what I showed at the fair.
Yes.
What didn't I show at the fair?
Yes.
That's fair. Anyway, so I started out showing pigs.
Mhm.
Showed pigs for a while, and then I told my dad, we like watched a goat show or something, and I was like, Dad, I want to show goats. And he was like, I've always wanted to have a goat farm. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you had a goat farm already.
No.
Oh,
No, I was
interesting.
8 or 9, and I told my dad that I wanted to show goats, and he said I've always wanted to have a goat farm. So we bought goats.
And then you had a goat farm.
We got a goat farm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you like did it like a legit goat. Like you had tons of goats at one point.
Oh yeah. I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah. Yeah.
I just assumed that you like your parents grew up like that they like
No.
you were already raising goats.
No.
Huh. Wow.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah. So showed goats so also those of you that are not familiar with like 4-H, you show from age 8 to 18,
Mhm.
but you can show as a clover bud like in open classes and
Yeah.
stuff like that before. So started showing at 8 with pigs, then got into goats around, I think it was 9. And then I showed lambs, showed
Mhm.
sheep. I showed a dairy cow one year. I showed a beef feeder and beef cow 2 years.
Mhm. Did you ever show chickens or rabbits?
No.
I didn't think so.
I had a rabbit.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
My thing was I wanted to show everything that you could show,
Mhm.
but I was not about to show any kind of poultry.
Yeah. I don't like
And
the poultry either.
nope, I don't like birds.
They scare me.
I hate birds. So I was working junior fair. This is a funny story. I was on the junior fair board. So like basically that is 4-Hers and FFAers that are like in their teens and they're
Yeah.
older and they can like
He was my president.
for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because Kat and I
Yeah.
were on junior fair board too, but yeah, you were
Yeah.
you
But-
ran the show.
Yeah. But so we on that you get split up into like different committees for
Mhm.
different species you have to do. So I was on the poultry committee. It was like my first year ever doing it. And so it was raining this like move-in day. We're checking in these birds, whatever. So this this little kid, I feel so bad for him. He was like his first year in 4-H. He was like 8. And he had this goose. And his sister also had a goose.
Yeah.
So their geese were like, they were holding their geese. And she was a little older. And he like accidentally like dropped his goose and just like let it like stay there or whatever. And like it was just like walking around. And all of a sudden it got all flustered and it flew away. it flew away. Like his 4-H project just gone, flew away. And
How devastating.
So like he's just like this little boy is just running in between the like that the new EB arena at the county fair and the beef barn, just trying to get his freaking goose to come back to him. Like this goose,
like it's flew. A lost kite or something.
Yeah, like this goose flew.
That's sad.
I was like,
he was like, I'm getting out of here. This is my chance.
I was when that happened, I was like, I'm scarred for life.
I feel like the goose was like, no, it's picking me up. Now I gotta go. That was my chance.
I told whoever was in charge, I was like,
that's so sad.
Never again. I will never watch a bird fly away from someone ever again. Yeah. But so didn't do that. Had a rabbit, but like didn't show it.
Yeah.
So yeah. But one thing that I am still mad about to this day. To this day. So we can get into like the so when you show like market breeding classes, like they judge the animal and how they look, whether it's like for breeding, like it's production wise, like how well is it going to produce, how well is it going to produce milk, like what is it looking like for like
the muscle mass,
as a mother,
stuff like that.
And then like market, like how well is that going to be like butchered, like how what are the like
the cuts of meat,
like how are they looking, like you know.
And then you have showmanship, which is based off of just the show,
like the showman. And so the person who wins the overall species is the showman of showmen.
Yes.
So I won that twice. And for goats, and so like my mom and I had this bet. We were sitting at Cracker Barrel in Springfield, Ohio.
That's funny.
And
the Cracker Barrel.
The Cracker Barrel. I haven't been there in a long time. But so we were sitting there and we were like talking, and it was like April, May. And so I already had my like 4-H project for the year and everything. And we made a deal and we shook on it. My dad was there and witness. And I said, like I've always wanted a horse. My mom had a horse when she was growing up. I always wanted a horse. And so we shook on it and we said, if you win, this was in 2014, if you win Goat Showman to Showman, I will get you a horse. I won Goat Showman to Showman, still have no horse.
There is no horse.
There's no horse in the barn.
And you shook on it.
And we shook on it. I said, God is my witness, Brenda. And she didn't do it.
Imagine if you would have pinky swore.
We did. I'm pretty sure we
I would have been
swore.
devastated.
I'm still ticked to this day. I'm going to write that on my gravestone. But yeah. So that was the only thing. But yeah, I showed a lot of animals at the fair.
I was a lot more simple. I did scrapbooking when I was a clover bud, and I scrapbooked my cat. Yep. Then I showed horses with my cousin when I was like younger in 4-H. So we did like the walk trot classes where like they would like do like lead-ins. We did like the fun shows, stuff like that. Stuff that was fun. I wanted to continue showing horses by myself, and my parents were like, "No, that's too expensive. We're not doing that."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, fine." But expensive. I showed pigs because my mom, fun fact, was the pork queen. I have to bring this up. Queen. She was the pork queen when she was
Where is she? Where's Christina?
In 4-H. But she grew up on a pig farm. Her dad raised pigs. So yeah, I always showed one or two. But I mean, I think I placed second one year, but I never got first and like went on to like do showman or anything. I didn't really care enough to do that.
You didn't?
Nope.
You never won first place?
Nope. No, I did once. I did once, and I had to go on to the next class, and then Ashlyn beat me. So yeah. Ashlyn is someone that I went to high school with. She graduated with me, and she won. She won a lot. She won. But the people that usually won though, like showed like out like at other fairs and stuff too. I only showed at our county fair. That was it.
Yeah.
So they like got a lot more experience than what we did.
I won a lot of stuff, but like I never showed outside the county fair. I always wanted to show at the state fair and stuff, but like we were signed up multiple times, like it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Other than showing animals though, we both were a part of like the royalty / like board, whatever. So yeah, my mom was the pork queen, but luckily they changed it by the time I got to it. So when I was a sophomore in high school, I was the swine. Was I sophomore or was I junior? I was a sophomore. Right? No, because
you were going into your sophomore year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was the swine ambassador. And then Chris over here was the king. The fair king.
I was, so the year before that, I was the goat ambassador.
when I was swine ambassador.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then that next year I went for Fair King.
Mhm.
Well, I remember like when we went for it, like it was kind of brutal.
Yeah, it was definitely like
there were like
competition.
15 girls that went for Queen, and like there were a couple for King or whatever. That was brutal.
Yeah.
They like the other like one of the other people who were going for King, like his sister was like crap talking me in the back before we even went on the stage. I was like, girl,
it was competitive.
What? But she was also like the festival queen in
town. Oh yeah, that's true.
So
but yeah, we did talk, I think in our very first podcast episode, that like how we met was through being ambassadors and stuff. That was the first time that we hung out. We've come a long way. So yeah, go back to that episode if you guys haven't listened to that one already to hear about how we got to this point.
That was ugly.
Yeah. Other than that, I want to talk about like what we learned from 4-H and FFA. I feel like it really gave me like a head start in life. I mean, it really depends on like how much your parents let you take on. I mean, my parents, like I was in charge of doing like the money book and everything. Like I kept track of expenses, everything. The only time that my like parents really helped me is my dad would like walk and feed my pig, like when I was in travel volleyball in the spring, just because I would go straight from school to volleyball practice to home, eat dinner, like bed. So that was really the only time that they helped me out until like May 1st when I was done with volleyball. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it gave me like just the responsibility of like, especially when I went to college, I was like, okay, if I can keep 2 pigs alive and healthy, then I can keep myself alive and healthy was kind of my outlook on it. But I think it helped me a lot with like money management for sure, having to turn in all of the expenses and just keeping the receipts. And just seeing like how much like it actually, like it's not cheap to feed them and then buy the show supplies and then also buy your outfit and everything. Because like we didn't always do it, but towards the end we always got 2 pigs and I would only show one of them. I would pick at a certain time which one I wanted to take, because pigs get depressed really easily if they're on their own. So that was just even more expenses that we had to have. But yeah, it's crazy. It definitely I mean, it's just something that you did in our hometown. Like all of our friends did it. Like so
it was like the fair was a time of like stress and like took a lot of effort and everything, but it was also a time like once you were done showing or like you had off time, like it was also a time to just hang out with friends. And it was nice. And I mean, I like
by the end of the week we were all tired. Like we all were going through the same like stress.
Like by the end I was always like, I mean, I was also always busy because I was throwing myself into things that I probably shouldn't. But, like, but no, I learned a ton, especially when my dad and I started raising the goats. Because so we started when I was 9, and by the time like from age 9 until like 21, the most goats that we had at one time was like close to 60, because we would have about 15 to 20 or so, give or take, like does, like girl goats, and we would have them get pregnant because we had like bucks, and they would get pregnant, and then usually goats have twins. So like take that number times like 2. And times that. So like we would at like one time, like I mean the most babies I think we've had in 1 year was like 25.
That's a lot.
So that's a lot. So, and when it comes like with that, like my dad and I were very much so like partners in that. And we like split the work doing all that kind of stuff and everything.
You have to.
Yeah, it's a lot. It was a lot. And I mean, like my brother helped a little bit, but like, I mean, they weren't his goats. Like, why would he? And then like my mom did help some and everything too. She was like, I thank my mom and my dad so much for like the help that they gave me during the fair, because I mean, like, so we talked about like the animals that I showed, but like I would take my like last 2 years in showing, I had 2 pigs, 2 lambs, and like 11 goats. So that's like what? It's like 15 animals.
11
like
plus 4.
It's like 15 animals, 16 animals, something crazy. But yeah, so like of taking that and like, I mean, you would walk your animal every single day,
Mhm.
sometimes 2-3 times a day, just to
Yeah.
make sure that they're like acting right, they're walking
Mhm.
correctly. And so we would just start like a train.
Yeah.
We would like,
I remember I walked your kids a couple times with you
yeah,
after school and stuff.
yeah. So I would, and I was very like self-determined, because when I like started my first year showing at goats or like whatever, like I did extremely well, got like third overall or something.
Mhm.
And so like I made it a goal for myself. Like when I was 9, I was like, I want to win big like one day.
Mhm.
Like I want to do really like big stuff like with this. And like I
Yeah.
really like this. And I mean, at that time I was still like super shy, like non-talkative. So I was like, I found my thing that I was good
Mhm.
at. And so that was cool. And I really think that that helped me with my mental health too, because I was
Yeah.
able to focus on that. And
Mhm.
like I had goats, like I love goats, like
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I mean, if anything, it forced you to get out of bed in the morning.
Oh yeah.
There were oh my God, there were so many mornings that alarm clock would go off and I would be so mad at the world.
Yeah.
And I'd be
Yeah.
like, I have to go feed and walk it. No.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember my junior year of, which was actually ended up being my last year of showing, I got a really bad back injury. I pulled my lower back diving in volleyball at like open gyms and stuff. And like I was not allowed to pick up like, I think it was like over 10 pounds for like a
Yeah.
month. And
That's
they literally
crazy.
said like, oh, like you can show because it's just walking.
Mhm.
But like even that hurt because I'm so tall.
Yeah.
Because like I'm 5'11, so like I would still have to bend over a little bit to like be able to like, hit not, I don't want to say hit the pig, but you are hitting the pig.
Like
tap the pig.
Tap
the pig. Hitting sounds aggressive. To tap the pig on the sides of the neck. And I was so grateful for my dad, because I mean, like he had to lift the feed bags, he had to lift water buckets. Like I literally pretty much could walk my pig at that point, and that was it.
Yeah.
And like it kind of sucked though, because like I was at the age where like I could drive though and stuff. So like I could go up to the fair and feed them myself and stuff, but I couldn't because my dad would have to come with me, or I'd have to ask a friend, like, hey, can you come help me feed my pig?
Yeah.
So, but my junior year ended up being my last year of showing, because it got to the point I think my dad was tired of helping me from that year. And he was like, I'm so over this. And like, for those of you that don't go to a county fair, like you sell your animal depending on what animal it is, but for pigs, you do sell them at the end.
If it's a market animal.
Yeah. And and my parents would let me take that money and put it in my savings and stuff and use it for whatever. And
paid for college.
always bought me a new iPhone. That's what I always used it for.
Yeah.
But my dad literally sat me down before my senior year and was like, I will literally buy you out. I will literally pay you the amount that you got last year from the sale if you won't show. And my mom was throwing a fit. My mom was like, we can't do that. What's that teaching her? Like, what? Like, no, that's horrible. That's not what this is all about. Being the teacher that she is.
Yeah.
And I ended up making him like increase it by like $200 or something. And then we shook on it, and I didn't show my senior year. For FFA, I ended up planting.
Well, it would have been your college year, right?
I didn't show my senior year or my college year, because you have a 4-H age.
Yeah. So it's what your age is as of January 1.
Yeah, which I technically was then younger because my birthday's in February.
Which that's how I was, because my birthday's in March. So I always showed with like Madison, Kat, and I always showed together.
Yeah. So, and I showed with like the class under us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so we technically both could have showed. You did show, right? Your freshman year of college. So yeah, you can technically show your freshman year of college, because in 4-H age, you're considered 18, not 19.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad bought me out my senior year and was like, we shook on it. I took the money and ran and slept in all spring of my senior year. It was great. Yeah. And I wasn't playing club volleyball anymore because I wasn't going to play. I wasn't going to play in college. Yeah, it was pretty great.
You came to the fair a couple times though.
Oh yeah, I still went. I still came to the fair, but
I think you came and watched me show. Was that one of the times that I was like in the grand showman?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. And
okay, but the question is, do you miss it?
Yes.
I don't.
I do.
I don't.
Rachel and I talk about this sometimes. I miss it. I miss the only thing I don't. So like, obviously, like I miss my goats and like that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah, I do miss having animals.
I miss like doing that, but like I miss like the atmosphere of being in the show ring. And it's also because like not to
toot your own horn.
Toot my own horn, but like I was good at it.
Yeah.
And so like I found a lot of joy in it, and it just really pushed me.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, I don't know how to explain it, and like this may be like sound dramatic or whatever, but like I like felt like the moment that I stepped into the show ring, like it was just like it was game time. I was a completely different person.
Oh no, I didn't feel that. Show days were always too stressful for me.
I loved it.
It was all right.
I loved it. It's fun.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was worth it in the end and everything. Like you learned a lot, and like I had a lot of
Oh
fun.
yeah, no, I
learning
would
a lot of
definitely
like one stuff.
I'm
like,
definitely glad my parents made me do it, because like I don't know what other opportunity I would have done if I wouldn't have done 4-H or FFA that would have given me the same experiences. Like my first like ever like meetings and the first ever club that I was in 4-H, and like I like ended up being like the secretary of our 4-H club, so like that I had to like take notes of like time our meetings and stuff, and yeah, I can't imagine what would have given me that experience.
Yeah. Well, and I think that like helps you too. Like, I mean, similar to you, like I was like a club officer for like treasurer, secretary, like president, vice president, that kind of stuff. It taught me a lot, which then like once I got into FFA, it just kind of like was like a nice maneuver, like a nice switch over.
Yeah.
And so then like especially like FFA just like taught me like so much. Like it's like honestly like kind of insane. And like I mean like being president of that, like doing like all that kind of stuff, like all the leadership thing, like doing like speaking competitions, like parliamentary procedure, learning how to run a meeting, like all that kind of stuff. I have taught people like Parley Pro in my job now. Like it's crazy.
I think everyone should know parliamentary procedure.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and like and then like in turn like doing junior fair board, like that taught us even more stuff. And then on top of that, running for royalty and for ambassador positions, that we then had to prepare. And like I want to say my first every time I interviewed for something outside of like a job setting was for swine ambassador. Yeah. And I had only ever had like one job at like our like local warehouse or hardware store before that.
I think the only interview that I've ever had, like I ever had, like more of like my first interview that I ever had, I think it was, how old were you? Did you say you were when you were a swine ambassador?
I was a sophomore, so you would have been a junior.
Okay, so it would have been my FFA like office, running for FFA office and stuff. I remember it too because I was so nervous.
Yeah.
But then like by the time like you're done, like before I was out of high school, I went through like 10 interview processes.
Which I guess I technically was an FFA officer too, but they don't even have my position anymore.
Oh, really?
I was the community leadership chair.
Yeah.
Yep.
You did a good stuff. You did good stuff.
I pretty much was the secretary for the vice president and the president.
Thank you.
That's pretty much what I felt like I did.
Yeah, but it was like, I don't know, it taught me a lot. And all the competitions and the CDEs, which career development events, like it was just,
I like doing like soil judging, and I was really good at doing like the breeds and stuff like that, the cuts of
livestock
meat.
judging.
Yeah, livestock judging. I like livestock judging.
It was cool. I really enjoyed. So, well, I mean, once I got like more into that, like my I think it was just senior year, junior or senior, both. I did the interview, or what was it called? Job interview CDE.
Yes.
Yeah. I did pretty well too. So it taught me a lot. And I think that like those skills have definitely helped me in my job now.
Well, and like, I mean, I don't know if it's because I grew up with it or like with my dad being a farmer or what, but like I got like the highest score in my class for green hand degree and my
I did too.
What's the second one? Your state, what's before state? Chapter in my chapter degree. Yeah. And that's what's cool too. Like it was like you had goals of like, because like pretty much everyone got their green hand degree. And almost everyone got their chapter degree too. But like to go on and get your state and American degree, like
it takes a lot of work.
Like I got a job at our outlet mall, at Ann Taylor outlet because the manager of the store saw that I had American degree on my resume, and she knew how much effort and everything that it takes to get your American degree that she hired me on the spot. She didn't even have me interview.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, it's crazy. And like for my like state degree, and I also got my American degree, I did mine on my goats, and it was just like, it's just crazy. Like
Mhm.
people do it on like honeybees, like doing
Well, yeah,
honey
see, I did
things, like
my state degree I got with my pigs, but then my
mhm,
American degree I got through because I didn't show my senior year. I still had to have an FFA project.
mhm,
I planted, I think, 50 acres of soybeans on my dad's land, and that's
mhm.
what I used to get my American degree.
Yeah,
Well, and I feel like,
that's cool.
yeah, when I feel like just like going through 4-H and FFA, like it really gave me a new respect for like
Mhm.
just farmers in general.
I
Like, I mean,
know.
you hear that like, they feed the world. Without them, the world would be even more hungry. But to
Mhm.
actually see a plant go into the ground or to
Right,
raise a pig from a
right.
piglet just gives you so much more respect because it takes so much
It's a
labor.
lot.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of time. It gave me a lot of respect of like seeing it go from farm to fork.
Mhm. Cool life lessons.
Yes. Speaking
And
of farm to fork, as we wrap this up,
yeah.
I have to ask what your favorite fair food is. What was your favorite stand at the fair? What was your
Yes.
go-to? Like, what's the first place you went
Mm.
to first day of fair?
Pork tato place. I don't remember what it's
Oh,
called. I don't
interesting.
remember what it's called. Um,
Which is so sad
so
because a lot of vendors are like leaving our
I
county fair because
know.
it's like they're not
Yeah.
making money
I
anymore. It's
had
very sad.
three. I had three. I would say big one was pork tato. So this place, I don't remember what the heck it was called. For some reason, I keep wanting to say
I feel
like
like ours
Bam
are going to be.
Bams or something weird, but
I
like
feel like ours are going to be so different.
I don't know. But are you gonna say that freaking chicken fried rice?
No,
Okay.
no.
But so this place, you'd have a baked potato. It was huge, like the size of my face.
Mhm.
And so you have this baked potato. You put butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon, pork, like pulled pork. I feel like there was something else.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, that thing was delicious. That was my favorite. My favorite breakfast place was that one by the cow barn.
Yeah, with the breakfast
Oh my
sandwiches.
God, they were
Oh,
so good.
that breakfast sandwich, like I would be so dead in the morning to go feed my
I would get
animal,
one
and that would
every
just
day.
rejuvenate me.
I'd get one
Like,
every day.
oh, I swear they put some type of magical something in
Oh, I
there
don't know, but
because it was like
that's
drinking
good.
coffee. I also really like the donut place too, though. The
Oh, the mini
little,
donuts.
yeah, we're by the rides.
They were good.
Okay, my favorite, and you're gonna judge me,
Oh my God.
was fried cheese on a stick.
Get the heck out of here. That fried veggie place is good though.
Right?
Dude.
Okay, what's your favorite dessert though? Because you got the funnel cakes, you got donuts.
I don't like funnel cakes or like elephant ears. I don't know. I don't like the powdered sugar. I don't like how it gets all over my hands.
I don't mind funnel cakes.
I don't know.
They're always so hot. I
I
like the red velvet funnel cakes though.
What was mine? I'm not a big chocolate person.
Mine was the deep fried place, the place that deep fries literally everything. And you could get deep fried
Yeah.
cheesecake, deep fried Oreos.
Oh, that's true. Those were good.
I definitely gained like 10 pounds during Fair Week on deep fried Oreos for
Everybody.
sure. And although I
Everybody.
did really appreciate the Chinese place, I won't say that it's one of my
But they had like chicken fried rice. It was so
Oh, it
good.
was so good. And there's something about eating Chinese food while walking
the
through the fair
fair,
that just
it's like-
hits different.
It's like weird.
It's so weird.
Um,
I love the Hawaiian shaped ice place too.
oh yeah, that was
Like
good.
at the end of the
Do you
night, that's
remember-
such a good place.
Yeah, the fry place was good. Every place has a fry place though.
The pulled pork place beside the grandstands was good too. God, we're naming everything now.
Well, no, do you remember the gyro place was good?
Yes, the
Oh
gyro
my
place was
God.
good.
So good. And
It's
the
not gyro,
ice cream-
people.
No, it's gyro. You can ask Kat.
Cat's Greek.
They had deep fry, or they had mac and cheese bites.
Chris, hold on.
What?
Desserts.
Ice cream.
Yes.
That ice cream place.
The John Deere ice cream place.
Oh, so
We're
good.
idiots.
So good.
Oh, their mint chocolate chip. Oh.
Oh, I loved it. It was so good.
Like I would pay him to. I should have had him come in my driveway for my graduation party. That was a
Why
rookie.
didn't you?
That was a rookie mistake.
Why didn't you? Oh no! Do you remember that place that was by the Kiwanis booth that had the mac and cheese burger?
Oh yeah.
That
It
was
always
so
took for
good.
like a while for them, like you to wait. It was not a
Yeah.
quick place,
Oh no!
but it was worth it. I do remember that.
They park in like the
Yeah.
old.
For
They
the-
park in like the TSC parking lot in London
oh,
for like lunch hour sometimes.
good to know.
Yeah.
For those of you that go to our Madison County Fair, my father is in Kiwanis. Check him selling footlong hot dogs on like
Their hot dogs are good.
Yeah.
I will give it to them.
And they're like really reasonably priced too. I think they're one of the cheapest places at the fair.
I
A lot
think
of
so.
families, because like we were talking about that the other day, like it's not cheap to go to the fair anymore.
No.
Like they have raised the price of admission. So like I mean, if you have 2 parents and 2 kids, you have 4 people, you can easily, if you go to the grandstand event too, plus feed everyone for
like
dinner,
$10.
you easily can spend $100 one night at the fair.
Yeah, it's not cheap
like it's
anymore.
Crazy. Yeah,
it's not cheap anymore.
But
definitely recommend.
Well, like my final thing was going to be, if you're a parent and you're not sure if you want to involve your kids in 4-H or FFA, not sure if that's the right route for them. If you have the expenses, if you have the money to do it, do it.
100%. I learned a lot from a very young age.
Well, and even my dad learned a lot. Like he had never raised pigs before. So like it's a learning experience for everybody.
Yeah. My dad luckily had raised like beef cattle and stuff before, but my mom hadn't and stuff. So I mean some things, and
like your dad had never raised goats before, right?
No,
before that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like I mean my mom was like around like some of the farm stuff, but like no, like not firsthand stuff. So it was a learning experience and a bonding experience.
Yeah, for sure.
And like we still talk about those memories today. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
But okay, I have one question for you.
Okay.
So what was your favorite fair animal?
My favorite, like to watch showing?
Well, to watch showing or just to like pet, hang out with?
I like watching the cow show just because I could never do it.
Oh yeah.
Like you'll never catch me. Like I'll pet a cow, but some of them would freak out and stuff. They're huge. They're huge. What was my favorite animal? Like to go visit.
Yeah, I go like pet.
Yeah. Definitely the petting zoo with the camels and the llamas and all the little piggies.
I meant like yes, but like I meant like
I know, like that you can show.
Yeah,
I love pigs because they're like people. Like pigs are like dogs.
Pigs
like
stink.
they do stink, but they're so cute. Like
they are cute.
They're and like
I'm kind of offended you didn't say my goats.
They always say hi. Goats annoy me.
You don't like my goats?
I did, but like that they were. I don't like. They make too much noise. Pigs just go.
Yeah. I don't know. I love my goats. My goats have so much personality.
That's how my pigs were, and it's funny because like pigs like very much are scheduled animals.
Yeah.
And like they would know at 6 p.m. That's usually when I fed them dinner. They're literally their heads would come out of the barn and be like, "Where's she at? It's time to eat."
Yeah. That's funny.
And like they would know when it was time to like for me to walk them too. Like I would see them down there just running in circles, just like amped, just like jacked, so excited. My mom would be like, "They're waiting for you," and I was like, huh. Yeah,
that's funny.
No, it's an experience. It's a lot of fun.
It's awesome. I loved it. Sometimes I wish I could go back. Sometimes, like I don't want to go back to high school, but I would love to go back to that.
Yeah, I would love to go back on the volleyball court one more time. Like I wish I could relive my senior night.
See, like I played soccer and like ran track and stuff, but
we
like
need to do an episode on sports.
Yeah.
To be continued.
To be talked about.
Yes, be talked about.
I feel like your volleyball is like my showing.
Yeah, I was a lot more invested in volleyball than what I was showing, where I feel like you were more invested in showing than what you were soccer.
Well, I was very invested in soccer, but like I just preferred showing.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a good episode.
Yeah,
I had fun.
Yeah,
I think it was nice.
I feel like we took a trip down memory lane.
I know. The memes.
You'll have to send me some pictures of you showing, and I will flood the screen right now with what we're talking about, so you can see it in action.
Hello.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. Cool. Okay, well, until next week.
Yes, we don't know what we're talking about next week. Please give us topic ideas.
Yes,
people.
Please.
I'm gonna beat you with a clipboard. No, I won't. But please give us topic ideas.
Aggressive. I am uncomfortable with the energy we have created in the studio. no, yes, please give us ideas. Stuff that you want to talk about, stuff you want us to talk about, things that are happening.
Funny stories.
Funny stories.
We would love to tell your
I would
story
love
for
to
you.
start each episode with like a funny story from someone.
Well,
That'd
we
be so
literally
fun.
we have an email set up for a reason, guys.
Yeah, we have an
Like,
email. Drop a DM.
Mhm.
Yeah, give us some ideas.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. But yeah, so we're excited for you guys to listen to this,
Yeah,
and
this
we're excited
is
for next week.
episode 8. We
Wow.
definitely want to do something
Can we have a
big.
party for the 10th
I was
one?
gonna say we definitely want to do something big for episode 10.
Party.
This is a major foreshadowing, but we were saying that we could have like a Christmas party episode.
I'm excited for a Christmas
So
episode.
we're definitely bouncing around ideas, but we want to hear what you guys think for sure. So
yeah.
Other than that, we will see you guys next week.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. We appreciate you all.
Yeah.
And peace
Peace
and
and
blessings.
blessings.